We know lighting and where you place it is important, but if the fixture is articulated, you have a lot more flexibility. So Jackie's back now with some great examples.
Yes.
Now, when I say articulated,
yes,
it means the arms move, right?
You got it.
It can move around. It's a fancy way of saying it can move around.
Absolutely. It's, yeah, movable, sort of, you know, a jointed arm. That's really what happens. So you can, it goes up, it goes down, around, it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you didn't see these, and someone said, I've just picked up an articulated light, you probably would go, what is that? What is that?
Yes.
And so again, it's because the arm, and I think everyone, including probably every college or university student, has some form of an articulated light.
Yes.
So they're really great in a couple of ways. They're great for ambient lighting, generally, because they swing around, and they're also really great for task lighting. So let's just go back a little bit. Back in 1932, a British designer created what he called the angle Poise lamp. Now, this IKEA lamp is the closest to that original lamp. And the reason that it is because the original lamp, and you can see that it's obviously still around in many different forms, which I'm going to show you in a moment, is defined as the lamp that has the spring at the base. Okay. So when you see that's the closest to that historical icon that we call that angle Poise, which is now an articulated light. So I think it's really cool. And again, this is where probably most people, you can get these really inexpensively, and they sit on a lot of university and college students' desks.
That's right. It's great task lighting, and you know,
got it.
Regardless of where you're moving, and it's going to be directly into the page of the book or wherever you want it to be.
Just interestingly, just a little snippet of history is that same light, that angle Poise light, was used during the war, the Second World War. Okay. And they were used in the factories because they needed task lighting depending on what they were building.
Amazing. And you see, that is the sign also of really good design.
Most definitely.
We're talking about things that were, you know, invented at the beginning of the last century.
Exactly.
Then you know that this is standing the test of time.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
Right? It becomes iconic. So with that in mind, there's lots of different pieces. They've kind of morphed into not just task lights, but floor lamps and really beautiful finishes, different styles. So this one's a really great one. This is actually a double pivot, as you can see, and it swings around. This is really beautiful in a space where you've got two chairs. Yes. So if you're reading, you know, depending on how you're using it, both people are going to get the benefit of the light.
She's very sexy.
She is very sexy. Yeah. Again, very today. You've got the brass, you've got the black, so it's really neat.
Lovely.
This one's particularly cool. So these lights are from Union Lighting, and this one actually has a touch, so it turns on and off, and you can see that very clean. It's LED lighting. It's very beautiful. Yes. Especially in comparison to the one beside it, which has a little bit more of a traditional value. Again, it's a beautiful polished chrome, but because of the curves of it, it doesn't really lend itself to modern. But here's the great thing. When you're looking at a light that is modern, you know what I like to do? And it's a little design tip. I like to throw it on a very traditional mantle. And so playing with those designs really creates a bit more of an eclectic feel, but it really works. So don't be afraid to mix something that might have a little bit more of a cleaner line or one that's a little fussier. And so put the fussy in the modern and the clean line in the one that's a little fussier.
That's how people are living now. You're mixing styles, and it's just, there's something a little bit more relaxing about it. Or maybe it's just the drama of having two juxtaposed, you know, styles.
Exactly. I think it's really important.
Back to back.
And I just want to show a picture right now because this shows that you can use them as wall mounts as well. Okay. And this is a transitional kitchen, really beautiful. But again, look at the lights. You see how, again, it's got the glass globe. Yes. You can move it around so it becomes a really great task light without necessarily, because there's all those windows, without having the under, you know, your under cabinet lighting. So this really does that, you know, plays to that really well. So you want to think about using an articulated light in all sorts of different spaces. Yes. It can be a kitchen, it can be a living space, it can be a sconce. It can be in bedrooms. It can be in bedrooms. It can take the place of a table lamp, which is great. Yes. You can use them in hallways. Again, think multiples. If you want to, something like that's really cool if you've got some really great artwork. Yes. So again, that hallway, just again do the multiples, and you've got the lights over top, or especially if you've got a really high ceiling, it's a really great way to focalize without having to go to the investment of putting in specialized lighting. So lots of ways to use that articulated light. Very good. We know that lighting is so key. Critical. If you never want to age in your home, just get good lighting. You got it. That's actually all you need. Jackie, thank you so much for the tips.